But you know what? I did want to talk about um, limiting beliefs. So, as I've been doing my first step sessions with my clients, right? One thing that I have noticed, let me fix this up so I can shut this down. But during my first step sessions, something that I noticed is that some of my clients have limiting beliefs. And I believe that in certain areas of our lives, we do have limiting beliefs. Like, it's kind of like, what do you believe in? And it can stem from certain situations that we've been in. It can also stem from that's experience right there, right? So our experiences, how we was raised, limited beliefs can come from a lot of different aspects. Like, I'm not a therapist or anything, but I can only speak from my experience and what I have been noticing. And one of my clients, we were kind of like, when we were speaking over the phone, we kept talking and I had told her, I said, well, you know what? It's you. And she started laughing, and I was like, it's you. Like, you are the one who is stopping you. And she told me near the end of the call, though, she was like, I really thank you for, bringing me this clarity. She said, because maybe sometimes we need to hear for someone else, because we might not see what the next individual see about us. And not saying that all the time that is true, right? But in that moment, it was true with her, true for her, and it resonated with her that she was the one stopping herself. And she was like, and I also thank you because you were able to get me out of my comfort zone. Meaning, she said usually when people would tell her that, she kind of like have a rebuttal, and she was like, I just had to sit here and listen. And she was like, and I realized that it's me, and I thank you for bringing that clarity. And that, I was proud of her in that moment, because that was a step forward for her, because in that moment, she threw everything out the window that she used to doing. Meaning, she was saying, like, I usually have a rebuttal for someone. I usually don't let the individual continue speaking, right? She said, I just go, react. And she was like, in this moment, I just had to listen to you and listen to what you said. And that's the part that brought her clarity. And I was so grateful for that. I was so happy for her. And I was happy in order to bring her that clarity. And also, another funny part about the call, she was like, usually I have a rebuttal. I said, well, if you would have said something about it, like, if she would have said something about it, I told her, I said, I would have just sat there and listened to you and said, are you finished? You know what I'm saying? I will let you get it out. Like, I've grown, from the inside, not to have a reaction like that, because sometimes I know it's hard for us to hear things from other individuals that we don't see ourselves. So she was like, I usually have a rebuttal. And I said, I would just let you finish. Like, I've grown thick skin, so you can say what you want to say, but it's all up to you. If you want to go ahead and make those changes, if you want to go ahead and listen. So I am glad that I am doing the clarity sessions, right? I did 3 of them for free to get my feet wet. And last night, I stayed up kind of late just to kind of like make those changes. So now it's a paid offer. And so with the paid offer, we get on a call for a whole hour, and then we'll walk through everything that you feel like you need clarity on. Maybe it's some things that's been holding you back, and you might not recognize that. And so I want to be the one to assist you with those things. My Google form, that's what it was. My Google form, I redid that. So now it's going, let me say this part first. With the free session, I probably had like 4 or 5 questions just to kind of like get a feel of what the client is going through. And so now with the paid session, I want to make sure that we'll be able to go in depth, within that hour. So I added some more questions to it just so I can have a better understanding. And I'm excited about it. Like, I changed my link and everything, so I got everything set up for that. So with the paid session, like I said, it's an hour, and then after the session, within 24 to 48 hours, I will have a full-on summary for you in order for you to, it's like a plan for you to move forward. But like I always tell the clients, you have to put that action behind it. Like, don't waste your time and don't waste your money, right? Because the session is $100. I feel like I say waste because I feel like it's a waste of time, it's a waste of your energy, and it's a waste of money if you're not going to put that action forward. I look at it as an investment. It's an investment into you. And I also want to get that feedback from them, like, what could I have done better? What do I need to do better? And with the last session that I had, my client, it was time management. He had a full-time job, he has a family, and he's trying to get his business off the ground. But he's in a space where he doesn't know how to manage his time. I get it. He wanted to balance that out. And so with that session, I felt like, it was a free session though, but in that session, I felt like I could have came with a little more tips. He said that, I hit everything good and I provided like a lot of information. But I guess, like I said, I guess it's just me. I felt like I could have provided more tips for him. The call, overall though, the call went good, but I just wanted to provide some more tips. But I did. In the summary, I added some more things or whatever, and it's just amazing how my life is shifting and how I am putting myself out there more, and I am, proud of myself. So I encourage you, whatever you want to do, begin to make those steps. Like I just said, action, 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 and consistency is the key. I had a point in time where I was stagnant for almost 3 weeks because I was overthinking. I didn't know what I wanted to put in the offer, just going back and forth, and I had to just slow down, right? I had to just slow down and recognize the things that I did want to do. So yeah, that was pretty good about that, how I had the session, and now I'm just like ready to move forward with everything. I will have the link in the description for you. It's really good when you can begin to tap in to that energy. I don't know where this is going to take me, but it's getting me out of my comfort zone. And actually, another thing that I am doing today is my first TikTok live. It's been in my mind for like over a month to go live, just to kind of connect with people. I didn't know what I was going to talk about, and so the other day when I announced it, I said I'm gonna go ahead and talk about getting out of your comfort zone, because I know for myself it's hard sometimes for me to get out of my comfort zone, because when you comfortable, you like, that's just like when you in bed and you got that blanket on you and you feeling good, or you watching TV, you like, shit, I'm comfortable, I don't want to go nowhere, I don't feel like doing nothing. That's how it was. But it's not just about me, it's about others as well, because that's what I noticed with others as well, is we are comfortable in our situation, and it's like, I'm not trying to make you do anything, but it's kind of like opening your mind, right? We all have to open our mind and do things in a new way. But if that individual isn't ready, they just not ready, and that's on them. I'm not here to force anything on anybody, but that's what I'm going to talk about on my TikTok live. Getting out of our comfort zone. I'm going to have some tips ready. Of course, I'm going to state the things that I have done to help me get out of my comfort zone, and just to kind of connect with the community, the people who actually engage with my content already, and maybe some new people come in. I might be on the live by myself, I don't know. I don't think I am, but you always look at the different possibilities. But I don't believe that. I believe some people gonna stick around and listen to what I have to say, and so I'm excited about that as well. Is every day doing little things that will help you be able to get to the bigger goal. Like I say, it's okay if you only have 30 minutes or an hour to work on your goals, work on your tasks. It's okay. I have a full-time job and sometimes I work overtime. Like last night, I worked overtime, right? I worked a Saturday and I came home and I got to what I needed to do, because I'm like, okay, if I'm posting content about a paid offer, I need to do those things on the back end to change everything with the Google form, the calendar link, my times that I'm available, all that. And that's another thing I want to talk about, your availability. When I do my schedule, I don't set it for every day, because I work with my friend in her business as well. So I have to map out these different times, and that's part of time management, is like sitting down, getting a clear understanding of the things that you are doing and the things that you want to do, and the free time that you have. Sunday, my days are pretty much free, and that's why I'm out here today. Like I said, I'm gonna get up early, go to the water. I haven't been to the water in a while, so with the calendar link, with the calendar schedule that I set, I'm only doing the first step sessions on Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday. I'm not going to do it every day of the week, because that's putting too much on myself. So it's kind of like recognize these little things and making adjustments. And just to get back to the limiting beliefs, how I want to say this. So with your limiting belief that you have, ask yourself this question: where does it stem from? Like, what is the root cause of it? Once you identify, what those limiting beliefs are, meaning self-doubt, right? Where did self-doubt come in for you? Where did that low confidence come in for you? And once you identify those things, we always have to be honest. Second, where did that come from, right? Then it's kind of like, okay, I know where it come from. I'm having a little doubt about this thing that I want to pursue, or whatever it may be. Look up some things. Like we have, like our phone, I know you heard this before. Our phone is a computer, which it is, and there's so much information out here. Look up like tips or books or something that deal with like self-help books, self-improvement, self-development for self-doubt. I'm just using self-doubt as an example. For self-doubt, look up some things that'll help you, but you have to have action. You have to do those things every day in order to become better. Like when it comes to low confidence or you doubting yourself, look up those tips, right? And put it into action and create a mantra for yourself. And what I mean by create a mantra, create something or some things that you can say to yourself every day, right? It could be something simple as, it could be something simple as, today I will not let self-doubt get in the way. I am confident. I am beautiful inside and out. Like, you can say things like that to yourself every day. What I do is I look in the mirror, right? And I have this thing on my mirror, actually, and it states different things that I choose to do in my life. And it's on my mirror, and I say that to myself throughout the day. I say things to myself, and we have to believe it first before anyone else does. So that's just some things that I've been recognizing. Like, we have limited beliefs, and if you really want to use your skills and abilities that you already have, we have to tap into our inner self, right? We have to tap into that confident part of our lives. And it's just work. It's everyday work. It's not going to happen just like that. So yes, it's everyday work. I encourage you to take some time out for yourself, right? Take some time out and just sit down with a clear and open mind and ask yourself, what do I want? Sometimes we might think we really do know what we want until we actually sit down and until we actually sit down and try to write the things out that we really want. And some people might know what they want, like materialistic things. They probably say, oh, I want a better job, a better house, a better vehicle. But what about the other things? Like, do you want peace in your life? Do you want happiness in your life? Do you want true joy in your life? Do you want genuine love? So it's kind of like, think about those things, right? Just think about those things. So I don't want to keep going, but yeah, I just felt like it was just something that I needed to say. And yeah, I'm glad that I am here for today. I love you. I appreciate you. Please like, share, and subscribe. And if you need clarity on your next steps, or if you need assistance with identifying the things that are holding you back, like I said, the pay offer is $100. Click the link in the description, and I am looking forward to assisting you with your next steps. All right, y'all. Peace.